I want you to listen.
Hello, and welcome to a very special edition of me randomly streaming in the morning. How's it going, everybody? No, this is not on accident. I am actually streaming on my main channel as well as on Twitch, and the reason being is usually when I'm talking on Twitch or on my second channel, I'm usually dealing with things that are not necessarily like main channel appropriate, but this absolutely is. Absolutely is. We have spoken about Russell Brand and Alex Jones numerous times on my main channel, so yeah, it's very much appropriate. It really, really is. Yes, happy Friday. It's Friday. Everybody get down. It's Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday, and Sunday comes afterwards. Right. So, oh yeah. There's a sleepy puppy who is okay. So this dog is one of the most expressive dogs I've ever known. I might be a little biased because it's my dog, but you know, whatever. But she is not only very expressive and very affectionate, but she's very expressive when she's uncomfortable. And this dog's never uncomfortable except that she's not fixed. And so my poor baby is going through period cramps. It's sad. It's very sad. Turn your volume up. My volume? Was my microphone not loud enough for you? Do I need to choke off on it? Do I need to choke up on it? Is that what you're telling me? Yeah, no, it's good. It's fine. So because I knew that this is coming out, I was very excited, and I figure this would be a fun little thing to do on a Friday. And also because, unfortunately, my kid does not have school at all next week, so me being able to stream at all is going to be very difficult. So I wanted to get in a banger, a bing bang banger before have to take a break from being streaming because child is nowhere near the internet. Yeah, no, absolutely not. What we've been doing, what I kind of do intermittently is sometimes on the Twitch channel we'll do InfoWars Wednesdays and try and watch InfoWars until we can't stand it, which is actually kind of difficult. But that's how I learned that Alex went and spoke with Russell Brand. So, without further ado, we're going to have Russell interviewing Alex, which is fascinating. So we're going to get this from the platform, the perspective of Russell and not Alex. And this, I'm curious to see how this is going to go. But I guarantee you, if anything, it's definitely going to be a cringe cannon! And I can't wait. I'm here for it. I live for it. So let's just jump into it. All right, here we go.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Thank you for joining me for a very special Stay Free with Russell Brand.
I already regret every decision that I made that led to this, but that's okay. I got some Steve Zissou kind of shit going on with this fit, you know. I'm not hating on it, but it's not the kind of riz I go for.
Going to be on YouTube for the briefest of moments, let me tell you, because of course the guest today is Alex Jones. Now, Alex Jones, perhaps more than any guest we've ever had, comes with baggage. He comes with a reputation. There are many of you.
What is that? $1.2 billion baggage? Something like that? Something like that. That he still isn't paying back, you know? That's okay. That kind of baggage?
Who will hear the name Alex Jones and will just think, Sandy Hook, conspiracy theorist, lunatic. Well, I invite you to take a different perspective on Alex Jones. Consider this. For hundreds of thousands of years, every single community would have had a member that was either a witch or a shaman or a evangelical warlock of some perspective.
Okay, wait. Hang on. Alex Jones is an evangelical witch or warlock or shaman? No. Really? Really? Oh, man, this is fantastic. Please.
We need people that move between levels, that seem to communicate from different dimensions. There's no doubt that Alex Jones exhibits some extraordinary passion. And even the first few minutes of this conversation says some astonishing things. And in a way, he's a person that I'm astonished to find myself having this conversation with. I've never had a conversation quite like it. I believe you're going to love it. Because what I want you to...
So I'm curious about this too. So Russell likes to prime his audience, right? He likes to give him a quick pump, really gas him up a little bit before we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of it. And when somebody does this, I know because I've done it, because people who are entertainers or communicators, they do this. There is an intention behind it, right? And this is largely going to be for viewers of Russell Brand who don't realize that Russell Brand is like legitimately a disinformation agent, which he is, for like specifically very, very dangerous far-right anti-science rhetoric, which he is. He absolutely fucking is. People who don't realize that yet, to be like, oh, no, not Alex Jones. Well, Russell said we should just give him a shot. And, I'm open to new ideas and having my mind changed, even though I probably won't. It's a priming of your audience to be able to stomach a giant heaping spoonful of dog shit. That's what it's for. That is absolutely what it's for. Yes, that is Penny. For every $5 in donos I make, she will have treats later. So your donos go to treats for the puppy.
to consider is that Alex Jones was one of the first people in this space, one of the first people that you'd have heard publicly saying there's a globalist agenda, you can't trust the establishment. Like, so
Globalist agenda predates Alex Jones by a long time. Long time. You don't want to mention that because it has its roots specifically in people believing that it's the globalist agenda is run by international Jewry. Alex doesn't say that because he encompasses anybody he doesn't like into it. You could say Alex Jones is a much more inclusive globalist conspiracy theorist.
So many of Alex Jones's ideas have entered into the mainstream. He's a brilliant person to talk to. He's an extraordinary man. He's very difficult to corral and control. He's the host of InfoWars. He's got the author of a new book called The Great Awakening, Defeating the Globalists and Launching the Next Great Renaissance. The link for that is in the description. We talk about predictions that Alex has made that have come true, and you'll be surprised by that. We talk as well about independent voices being targeted, like Joe Rogan, Alex himself, Tucker, and obviously myself.
Okay, independent voices. Joe Rogan is the host of the biggest podcast that has ever existed. He's paid billions of dollars. Like, what in the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you actually talking? That's what an independent voice is? It's the same kind of people that make this thing of like, well, you know, Elon Musk is fighting against the elites. He's the richest man in the world. What are you talking about? It's so weird.
We talk about predictive dreams, prophecies, mysticism, spirituality, globalist agenda, Black Rock, Vanguard, current problems and spiritual solutions. I ask Alex if he's ever thought about ending his own life and if he's ever wondered if he's mentally ill. God, love, the devil, heaven, hell. Have a look at just a few of the highlights.
Are you sure this is highlights? Because I think this is the whole thing. I mean, it's over an hour long, buddy. Maybe he just regurgitated I don't know. Maybe he just regurgitated a lot of this stuff for the promo that he put on YouTube. Because he didn't post this to YouTube. He had to post it to Rumble because he is afraid of losing monetization, or I don't know. Maybe he already lost his monetization. He doesn't want to get kicked off YouTube, basically.
You're telling me it isn't real when they had a vote in the goddamn Senate?
And the thing is, it's really easy to be able to show Alex Jones on YouTube. All you have to be doing is crapping on him, which is objectively a good thing to do because he's a terrible, terrible human being, you know?
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
I wonder if you ever feel fracture and crisis within yourself. I wonder if you've ever felt hopeless and desperate.
God touched me and said, you really want to be evil? And I had a lot of really intense nightmares and just a feeling of being alone. But
what is this editing? What is happening right now? The whole hour isn't going to be like this, right? I hope not. That would be ridiculous.
This and that is going to happen, and you're going to go through a lot of pain to do it, but you're going to help trigger the Great Awakening.
Piles of manipulative, lying crap! You cowards! Excuse me.
What do we do about the people that hear the name Alex Jones and then just think, oh, you know, Sandy Hook? I can't imagine it's very easy to be you.
I didn't say that the name Sandy Hook for over 2 years before I was sued.
Do you feel that you arm your detractors by your mystical conjecture?
Edited like a Christian camp video. It super is. Oh man, I was trying to put my finger on exactly what it was. Like, this is familiar with, like, in something. I see this kind of stuff all the time. Yeah, Christian camps. Yeah. It's bananas.
Or is that something you're deliberately doing in spite of the fact that it obviously enables people to attack you?
They were all obsessed with mysticism. They were all obsessed with the occult, the CIA, MI6. But this is why the CIA and the Justice Department used me as the first domino. We're going to get Assange and Jones. Once we get them, all the other dominoes will fall. That was 6 months before I got deplatformed 5 years ago.
What are we going to do? There is so much power that can be asserted through legacy media. There is so much power of censorship. There is such a strong will to shut down dissent.
You see it.
This is absolutely insufferable. This is somehow like more insufferable. Okay, it's almost done. Oh, thank God it's almost done and they're getting to the actual. Oh my God, that was really bad. That was rough.
Because we have nothing to hide. Move your angle, relax your perspective, pull back, open your mind.
I wonder if you've ever been
Relax your
concerned
anus.
that you are mentally ill.
There we
We
go.
planned to have 15 minutes at the top of this conversation that we'd be able to stream everywhere, but this is Alex Jones and it's just impossible. In this conversation, you'll see Alex Jones like you've never seen him before. This is a conversation you do not want to miss. These conversations we stream.
How many intros do you have to put on this, Russell? We're already almost 6 minutes into your goddamn video. Just do it.
Live. So if you want to become a supporter of our channel, join us on Locals by pressing the
Blah,
red
blah,
button. You get
blah,
access
blah,
to
blah,
a variety
blah,
of things,
blah, blah,
including
blah.
advanced interviews. Like, so grateful to you for joining us today. Thank you.
Russell, it's amazing to be here with you. The first time we talked was 11 years ago, and I got a chance to meet you here in Austin, and wow, has the world changed. And I wish that I wasn't a trailblazer and a maverick. I wish that when I was reading Club of Rome and UN, global government, Rockefeller Foundation plans 29 years ago when I first got on air, I wish that it wouldn't have all come true. And so a lot of people saw me as a pessimist or very negative or a science fiction writer. But if you go back to what I said 25 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it's unfortunately all come true because there really is a global corporate BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard ruling elite that has over 80% of the wealth.
Words, and more words. Alex Jones is younger than Will Wheaton? That is not true. No way. Hang on. No. Alex Jones is 49? He's 49? Alex Jones is only 8 years older than me? No way. Oh my God. He looks like a 65-year-old testicle. What is going on? Wow. Okay, and Will Wheaton. Oh yeah, here, hang on. Will Wheaton is 51. No way, that's so wild. Wow, my brain is about to explode on that one. That's crazy to me. That is super crazy to me.
Of the world, and now they want full control. Now they're announcing they're going to start cutting off the water supply, cutting off the food supply. You will eat the bugs. So they're the dystopics
You will eat the bug.
pushing this and doing this. They're the ones that have decided they want all the wealth and really life for themselves, and they want to use us as the guinea pigs as they try to get their holy grail, which is life extension technology.
This is so weird to me because, like, all right, neither of these two ever speak ill of Elon Musk. I mean, I know Alex has a couple of times, but he always walks it back. But, like, Elon is massively wealthy. He is massively influential. He is into life extension. Like, all of these criticisms, but he never points to the one guy who is currently at least helpful in pushing weirdo political rhetoric. It's just bananas to me. And it's really inconsistent.
And immortality. That's why so many of their top people at the World Economic Forum have said that the future is not human and that we're basically useless eaters. So this is a very Hitlerian stuff coming out of the ruling elite, but they promise to depopulate every group, everybody, except for the chosen few that go into the future as this new super sapien that's reportedly going to biomechanically merge with machines and become a demigod.
Dope. Super dope. I'm really glad that the overwhelming oppressors that will be culling the human herd are so inclusive that they're gonna slaughter unilaterally without worry about race or creed or religion or gender expression. Like, everybody's just culled before us chosen few, which of course will include me, of course, because I'm Illuminati, to become our death cyborg immortal beings. Yep, I'm into it. I'm into it.
Now, Alex, before we get into your broader perspectives, and because I'm fascinated and excited to speak to you about that, it's almost an Alex Jones meme. In fact, it is one. Sort of like the number of times Alex Jones has been right. Now, like, I'd like to sort of just talk about, just briefly sketch out 3 to 5 of the clearest examples of where you've said there's a financial elite, there's a global establishment with an agenda that is transcendent of democracy, all ideas that you were at the very forefront of. But and I also want to ask you this, because it's a question I consider myself a lot. Is this: I know that you have a massive audience of people that believe in you. Similarly, there are people that will say, no, Alex Jones, Sandy Hook, crisis actors, and will never be open to you. Sometimes when I'm talking, I think, I know there's people that believe in me, and no matter how I'm attacked by the establishment, no matter what tactics they deploy, they'll say, Russell Brand has always spoken out against...
Oh, like when they point out when I, paid for a taxi to go pick up a literal child from school so I could face fuck her, Is that what you're talking about, Russell? When they point that out, and that you didn't deny doing that? Is that what you're talking about? It's really tragic when they point out all the different ways in which you were paying for a taxi to... Oh, no, that's true. No, that happened. That absolutely happened. Paid for a taxi to pick up a high schooler to take her to his house so he could fuck her mouth. That's what Russell Brand did. That is what Russell Brand did. And he didn't even fucking deny it. You know what he said? It was consensual and technically legal. If anybody ever has to defend themselves by saying it was consensual and technically legal, they probably didn't do a good thing. It's probably pretty easy to be like, that's bad. That's bad, and you're a bad person. You should probably not do that, I don't really give a shit if it's legal or not. It's fucking wrong, bro. Anyway, what were you talking about? I'm sorry. I just can't get over it. That shit is so gross. It's so fucking gross.
Against power, not always, but certainly in the last 5, 10, 15 years or whatever, there's no way that the attacks on Russell Brand are not connected to those to his stance on, say, Big Pharma, the pandemic, the military industrial complex. But sometimes I think, what do we do about the people that hear the name Alex Jones and then just think, Sandy Hook, $1 billion? So in order to sort of almost simultaneously address the idea of detractors and to give us a sort of a platform to start on with some degree of confidence, bearing in mind we're still on YouTube at this point, can you give us...
Can you fucking spit it out, Jesus?
Because I know that, the same is true of many of the people that I consider you to be like an evangelist and a shaman, actually. That you're a peripheral seer, and like anyone who operates in liminal spaces, there's going to be craziness. I can't imagine it's very easy to be you. I know you feel the world very strongly. I know you have a good deal of passion and intensity in you, and I identify. But just to start us off in a place where, because it's so easy to
Jesus fucking Christ. Why is he doing a Hassan cosplay? He's also doing the run-on shit where he just doesn't shut the fuck up and he can't pause for half a second. And I swear, if he takes Jones any deeper into his throat, he's gonna start gagging. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. Man.
Ties and for you to evangelize. Can we start off on a few examples of, look, 20 years ago, I told you this. Now that happened. 15 years ago, I told you this. Can you give us a few examples of those things, Alex? Because, for me, this is a time where we need to start creating a consensus for all of the anti-establishment thinkers in the world, so that and I think one way of doing that is for us to show a degree of reason. So can we start off with that, mate?
Absolutely. And just to mention the Sandy Hook thing that you brought up, I wasn't deplatformed 5 years ago because of Sandy Hook. They just said, we're taking him off. Tim Cook of Apple led it. He gave interviews on Vice and admitted that he got together with the heads of the other tech companies, and I was banned on over 100 platforms in 1 week. And then that backfired, so they went and back over my timeline.
It's fascinating because it happened about the same time as the Sandy Hook, but there was also reporting of a bunch of other stuff that he was saying that was horrendous and egregious. And they all basically like, yeah, if one of us is going to drop him, we should just all drop him. It's going to be less optically bad if we just all do it at the same time. And so they did it, And you can be mad about it if you want and be like, well, it's not fair. We need to have free speech or whatever. I understand people's arguments for that. But at the same time, it's not like he went away. He's still around. I mean, he's got his own website. He's on Rumble. He's on Odyssey. He's on BitChute. He's on all these different platforms. You can still get to him. It's just he doesn't get to use the biggest ones to make money off of it. And he's still doing fine selling his like pills and powders and supplements and stuff like that, which he is not using any of that money to pay the families of the people that he ruined their lives. So, you know, like it's weird when you actually say everything rather than just act like a fucking victim, then it doesn't sound quite like you're in the right. It's just kind of how everything works, you know what I mean?
And then dredged up a few things I said out of context, and then had PR firms, they now admit, announced that I was doing things I never did or never said out of context, and then sued me. And then the judges in both jurisdictions found me guilty, just like Trump's been found guilty already by the judge, no jury in his New York fraud trial. So since when does this happen? Since when do we not get juries? So we now know from the
I thought this was America. I thought this was America.
Congressional weaponization hearings that it was the Justice Department and the CIA, even when Trump was in office, he wasn't running a lot of things, that were targeting me, the same folks that targeted Julian Assange. And thank God I'm not in as bad a position as he is. He is really the guy we should all be praying for and supporting with the hell he's gone through. So I see it as blessed that I'm not in solitary confinement for 7, 8, 9 years like him. But now in hindsight, all of that was synthetic. It's a straw man. And I challenge people to actually go find the things they say I did, that I sent people to urinate on children's graves, that I sent people to their houses. No proof of that.
Okay, no. Nobody ever claimed that you specifically sent anybody to do any of those things. No. It's that you inspired people to believe something that was fake. And then when they started doing insanely bad things, like harassing grieving families, you knew about it, and you kept doing it. That is an act of maliciousness, an act of intentional maliciousness. Intentional. And the thing is, too, he fucked himself in his own trial, because when he was asked in deposition if at the time he thought that Sandy Hook was a hoax or not, he said, no, I didn't actually think it was a hoax. I was questioning the official narrative. And then they showed him that even after he claimed, he wasn't claiming it was a hoax anymore, and he didn't believe it was a hoax, he kept saying it was a hoax. Because he's a liar. Because that's who he is. It's so ridiculous.
That was ever shown. I barely ever talked about it. They put into evidence like 21 minutes of guests on the show and callers over many years. There were periods where I didn't say the name Sandy Hook for over 2 years before I was sued.
Oh, okay. So everything's fine then. Like all you have to do, like if you run somebody over with your car, you just have to not run somebody over with your car for 2 years, and then you can't get in trouble for it. That's how the law works, right? Mabby the Mind says, I had the misfortune of meeting Russell Brand on many occasions years ago when I attended the same addiction recovery group as him in London, and he was a total prick. I'm really, really not that surprised. Really not surprised. Imagine talking about Alex Jones and not talking about how he's an obvious CIA plant. Jeff fell off. I know, but I'm trying to climb back on, my dude. I'm trying to climb back on. Listen, I may or may not have just recently cashed a check from also the CIA Shilluminati for me to reinforce that Alex Jones is not, in fact, a plant and is just a raging idiot. I don't know.
So they tried to make me the Sandy Hook man to inoculate people. So when they heard my message that was so popular at the time, in 2016, 2017, I was as big as Joe Rogan is right now. I had the biggest.
No, incorrect. In-fucking correct. Nowhere near. Sorry. Shut up. Jeff, is Alex Jones mentally incompetent, or is everything he does just a total grift? Yes.
Not just political show, but the biggest show. Over 30 million viewers, one way or another, a day. And of course, you have begun to approach that. That's why you've been targeted. And that's why they tried to go after Joe Rogan. It's why they've gone after Tucker Carlson. But notice, all the most popular shows are talking about globalist and BlackRock and the ESGs and the central bank digital currency. So, yes, I have had events where I can put the material together and then predict what's going to happen in the future.
It's weird that this is entertainment I'm entertained by it because it's batshit. But it's weird that, I guess it falls into people who have that same craving that they get from specific types of news channels where everything always has to be bad. Bad news sells. Bad news sells. And then you got somebody who comes along and they're like, oh, it's so much worse than you thought. And they get super attracted to it. And if they just turn their brain off and start to just slowly absorb it into their meat space, their brain meats, and it permeates and it rots them from the inside out, I guess that kind of makes sense. I don't know. I don't know.
All psychic to a certain extent. We're all part of the group collective. I have had dreams that have come true. I've also had a sixth sense about the data I saw and when I thought they were going to pull something. And so, but we all have that intuition, men, women, you name it. But specifically, so much of what I predicted was in MIT white papers and things. Like I was reading about the Tavistock Institute in the 70s and 80s developing the transgender program to make sterilization fashionable and cool, particularly of all the autistic children and things that they knew that their program was going to be producing.
Whoa. That's a lot of words that are fucked up. Are you telling me the transgender program is specifically to target the autistic people so that they don't breed in sterile blah, blah, blah? That's fucking crazy. First of all, trans rights, okay? Trans rights. Second of all, the reason why this type of thing falls off really bad when it comes from Alex Jones's mouth is now all transgender people are autistic too. I don't know. Ask Alex Jones. I can't keep his shit like fucking together most of the time. There are so many sterilization programs if you ask Alex Jones. And when everything is a sterilization campaign, then nothing really has that weight anymore. So I'm sorry. Deploy the trans autistic Antifa super soldiers, Jeff. It's time. It is time. I'm hitting the button. I'm casting the trans symbol in the sky, and all of my chainmail bikini clad babes with automatic weapons must descend. Let's assemble the war band. We ride tonight.
And so it wasn't that I magically looked into a crystal ball and said decades ago the chemicals in the food and water are reducing our fertility and bending the brain cells in utero of brain development, where you're not really a male or a female, you're more hermaphroditic and not in the genitals,
hot,
but in the brain structure that is way more important than what quote genitals you have. So I don't blame people that are biologically a male but feel like they're a female, because they actually are now leaning towards being more female than male. But these people,
semi-based Alex Jones ally, semi-based, huh?
Have been targeted. So I predicted, obviously, that you would see mass infertility and reduction in sperm counts. Now they're down around 90% in every Western country that uses atrazine and things. The media just ignores all the science I showed 20 years ago or 10 years ago, and they just look at me saying, I'm sick of them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Then,
hey, he said the line, guys. He said the line. Sperm count down, but sperm volume up? Where is it? Oh no. Where is it? Did I not? Nope. Where did I put it? Oh no! All right, anyway, back to it.
of course, there's other examples. 9/11. I came out in March, April, May, June, July.
Light topic.
On my radio show and my local access TV show. And I said, call the White House. They're going to blow up the World Trade Center. They're going to blame it on bin Laden. They're going to invade the Middle East. And then later, they're going to use the police state they set up all across Europe and the U.S. and the Western world against the domestic populations. Because I was reading Dick Cheney's Rebuilding America's Defenses from 2000 document. And then I was seeing them on the news saying, terrorists are about to strike. When they strike, you give your rights up. They were showing bin Laden on TV saying he's about to get you. And then, yes, I've never really told this before.
Are we going to get a major revelation here? We're going to get a major revelation?
To have a recurring dream in March of 2021 of the World Trade Centers on fire and collapsing. And I told my wife at the time this. But I also then started seeing, once I had the dreams, I started seeing them. Well, wait, they're saying bin Laden's about to attack. And We knew from the FBI informant Ahmad Salam, who also worked for the CIA, that the feds had cooked the bomb, trained the driver, let them attack the World Trade Center in 1992. So I was able to...
Okay. There's a lot there. There's a whole lot there. A whole lot there. Okay. First of all, it's very convenient, isn't it? When a big major fucking thing happens, like, I don't know, a super earthquake. And then, like, later you got a guy who's like, I never told anyone this, but the night before the super earthquake, I totally dreamed that there was a super earthquake. And everyone's like, bro. And then most people who aren't stoned or gullible or huff air duster are like, did you though? Did you really? Did you though? Did you? Also, it really doesn't work to try and paint the other World Trade Center bombing as like a real big hardcore motivation by the CIA or the FBI. If you've ever read anything that was written by Timothy McVeigh, you know that probably was not a good thing for the CIA or the FBI or whoever to try and like put that out there and promote those ideals. I'm just saying, it doesn't read very well into the optics. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. I mean, it's interesting stuff.
Put together that was going to be their next target. And so I did dozens of shows that they tried to remove off the internet, but you can still find large clips of it, where I said, call the White House. And I put the number up. And I said, they're going to blow up the World Trade Center, and they're going to blame bin Laden, and they're going to invade Afghanistan. Now, simultaneously, and I've since talked to Chris Carter before, and he was going to come on the show, but that never happened, the creator of the X-Files, he ended up reaching out to me and he also gave interviews and said, Alex Jones is right and stuff in 2016. And he said that new X-Files they put out, the talk show host character was me. He talked to Variety, all of it. And the point is, this is the influence, not about me, but it's about the story. He then said, I really like Alex Jones because he was talking about...
Oh, no. So he wasn't talking about McVeigh? Oh, okay. Which one are we talking about? Because I'm pretty sure... I thought Timothy McVeigh bombed one of the World Trade Centers in Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, it was the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. That's right. Man, see, I got all twisted around, man. There's too many bombings. Anyway, I'm gonna make you guys an offer. Here, right? We're gonna get right back to this in a second. But I have something here. You see that how that little girl over there, she's looking at me? She's looking at me because I have this. Cheese. Slice of cheddar cheese. And for every $5, I will feed her a quarter of this cheese. And it will be delicious. Pet the dog? I will. But you got to pay. All right, anyway, let's go.
They're going to blow up the World Trade Center. He said, I was approached by the CIA in early 2000 on the Lone Gunman spinoff of the X-Files, and I was asked to make a show where a rogue group of the government hijacks a jumbo jet by remote control to blame it on a Middle Eastern boogeyman to fly it into the World Trade Center to then bring in worldwide martial law and the beginning of the Holy War. And so it's not just Alex Jones having dreams about this and then seeing the evidence and then saying it. That was a true psychic event. And when I don't have these a lot anymore, but when I was a little kid, I had them a lot. And then by the time I was a teenager, I had them a few times, and I've had them a few times since then, like with the 9/11. And sometimes it's a nonsensical thing.
This isn't a roundup. We're not doing the roundup. We're just watching this one interview of Russell Brand and Alex Jones. I just wanted to do it. It's definitely not a roundup. I just wanted to do it.
About something that, that's going to happen, and then it happens a year later, and you've even written it down and it happens. But when I have these dreams where I guess you fold space, fold time, go into the future, which our higher consciousness can do interdimensionally, we're in the third dimension, but our souls are obviously projecting up higher. That's been mathematically, scientifically proven now. So we get to have a window into at least potential futures. It's kind of a Frank Herbert Dune situation.
Okay, all right. Fuck you, first of all. Fuck you. Do not disparage Frank Herbert's amazing book, one of the greatest books of all time. We have the movies for that. Mr. Holiday, tear down that paywall. Hey, she needs a bag of food, man. And her food is like $55 a bag. So really, the money goes back to the dog anyway. And she gets cheese. Oh. What are I going to say? Yeah. Of course, Alex Jones. He folds space-time inside of his brain. The end result of it is that his brain continually gets smoother, but, that's neither here nor there.
But when I would have these dreams, I would also wake up very sweaty and vomit and just absolutely just be blown away with the worst headache you can imagine. And I don't even regularly have headaches. It would just be when I would have these dreams. And so that's my big psychic event that's also been proven by the fact I came out and called it. But then basically the psychic ability just helps you already see the data points. And then I guess your subconscious mind, you can even say then programs what you'd call an AI, but a human artificial intelligence, advanced intelligence interfacing with the universe to then take you to the next level. And so it just goes on from there. I said 2 years ago in October.
Aw, thank you very much, Azure Wolfie, for gifting a sub to Chaotic Kitten. Appreciate you.
I said that Russia is going to invade by the end of February.
Wait, you said, okay, you want that to count for feeding the dog a piece of cheese? Is that what you're really trying to get me to do here? Is that what's happening? When does he stop lying? Never. It's Alex Jones. And somebody was pointing this out, too. At his trial, Alex Jones basically came out and said, I'm completely full of shit. All of this is just an act, But then again, okay, so you can point to that and be like, well, look, so obviously everything he says is a lie and whatever and blah, blah, blah. Or was he just saying what he had to do to desperately try and save his own ass? Which didn't work anyway, So I don't know. Do it, scam? All right, fine. We'll give the dog 1 piece of cheese for that Twitch subscription, okay? Here we go. All right. Penny. Here, baby. Here. Yeah. Good girl. Yeah. That was from them. That was from the chat. Yeah. Good girl. Good baby. Mwah. Good girl. There you go. The puppy has had a little piece of cheese. She could have a lot of cheese. It's up to you, man.
February next year, that was 3-4 months before. I mean, there's literally been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these, but that wasn't a dream or an event. That was studying all the data and the background and
thank you very much, Sammy. You idiot. Appreciate you.
Intel. And I predicted they were going to come after the food. I predicted how they were going to break up the families, how they were going to finance race war. But 99% of it is just hidden in plain view and reading source documents. There's just many other examples.
There are a lot of examples there. And what I can tell even from speaking with you today, Alex, is that you move between...
How long until Alex directly compares himself to Nostradamus? I hope he does, because that would be even funnier. Because Nostradamus, I don't really want to get into it right now. Hey, thank you very much, Sabrina, for becoming a channel member. Appreciate you. Very, very kind. I think, does that count as 5? Does that count for cheese? I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to the chat to decide. The dog's going to be gassing through. I won't give her so much cheese, it's dangerous. But it's not enough that I can get into it really right here, just off the cuff. But Nostradamus did not predict a goddamn thing. He never got one single fucking thing right. On any actual scrutiny into the predictions that he made, they all fall apart. It's amazing. And I got 1 vote for cheese. Yeah, 2 votes for cheese. I wonder if anybody's going to vote no on the cheese. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. She needs all the cheeses? Man, you guys are Guys are a bunch of softies. Jesus. All right. All right.
Penny, hi.
Wait. Okay. Oh. Did you get it, baby?
There he is.
Did you get your cheese? Where'd it go? Where'd your cheese go? Oh my god. Did you lose the cheese? Did you lose the cheese? Did you lose the cheese, babe? Alright, come on. Back up here. Lay down. Here. I think she lost the cheese. I put it on her nose to balance, and she flipped it up, and it went fucking soaring. So I don't know what happened to it. So I'm gonna give her another one. Here, baby. Lots. Here. Come here. Oh, I know. There you go, baby. There you go. Get comfy. Thank you. Ugh. You see, if you think about it, this is actually pretty brilliant because her food is expensive, so she's actually buying her own dog food right now. So if you think about it, it's actually pretty brilliant. It's pretty brilliant. I think it's good. All right, anyway, let's get back to it.
Demonstrable empirical fact, like, phthalates in the water and the increase of
Frankenberry, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate you, buddy.
phthalates in the water are evidently affecting male fertility. And when you're obviously sort of straight away, Alex, move into such complex areas of discussion using, and also the way that you approach reality is a kind of rare in a, let's say, in a kind of a rationalist, materialist world. Now, when you say about sort of predictive dreams and prophecy and mysticism, most cultures make allowances for that, and the CIA utilize people with psychic capacities and...
Oh, boy. How old is Penny now? She's, over 2. She's like 2.5. Thank you very much for gifting a sub to Sherman, Amber Ducky. And Pulveros gifted a sub to KIGF. Oh, no, I just got a hype train on Twitch. That's cool. For those who are watching on YouTube, I am live on Twitch as well. So, yeah, that's why we're getting, dueling stuff. Some dogs cannot handle cheese at all. Large dogs can handle a little more, and small dogs can handle less. Should only have a few. I know, yeah, I don't give the dog a lot of cheese. I really don't. That's why I'm taking a slice and I'm tearing it into fourths. And she's probably only going to get, 2 slices of cheese. She'll be fine. But yes, of course. So I feel like Russell Brand has seen the movie The Men Who Stare at Goats a little bit, far too many times.
Psychic abilities, these kind of phenomena are areas of exploration. So I don't think that the attempt to discredit you is because you are a person that in a global culture occupies a role that we would probably recognize more easily in smaller tribalized culture, i.e. the mystic, the shaman, the evangelist. What I think is complex is that our social and cultural systems don't afford even that role anymore. God, I've had enough cause lately to think about witch hunts and Salem and the way that mysticism, mystics and people that speak out and people that bring information out from the edgelands into the mainstream have been historically persecuted.
Persecuted. Yes. I forgot. When somebody with massive influence says something fucked up and inspires people to do terrible things and then sees that it's happening and just does it more to intentionally target and harass grieving parents of dead children, really, the one who's being persecuted here and is truly suffering is Alex Jones. It's kind of like how Russell is world famous and got to enjoy the fruits of his very little labor to become a superstar and loved by lots, and then turns around and pays for a taxi to pick a child up from her high school so he can bring her to his house and fuck her mouth. And then suddenly people are mad at him, is why he is so persecuted. You see, that's how it works, right? That's how these things work, right? That's what real persecution is. Those people out there who are like, look, I have to run from gangs that want to chop me up with a machete because I am of a different subset of this group in this country, you know, that's not real persecution. Have you ever been held to account for your flagrant lies on your massive multimedia platform? No? Then sit down. Shut up. You don't know what persecution is.
Sometimes I wonder what people think they are talking about when the idea of a witch hunt is discussed. You know, that people seem to be able to produce evidence, seem to be able to conjure up legitimization for unpersoning, persecuting, shutting people down. It's very curious that those people generally are outspoken critics of the establishment. And the more I speak to you, the more I realize that you have inaugured a particular cultural role. You, and I would say in particular David Icke, both of whom have been subject to incredible attacks and incredible slurs.
Yeah.
And it's difficult not to say that would be predicated on and driven by the desire to...
I love David Icke. You know why I love David Icke? Is because, like, okay, with Russell, you know, it's the elites and the people harnessing society. And then with Alex, it's, you know, the globalists, the Build-A-Bears, and all these people in the tech industry and all this and all that. And then you got David Icke, and you're like, hey, there's a problem in the world. And David Icke's just like, it's the reptilians! All of it is just a bunch of reptile lizard people, bro! That's all it is, man! And, like, it's fucking wild. It's absolutely wild. I can't I can't get over it. Are we playing bingo? No. This isn't a bingo stream. I didn't prepare for that, although that would have been pretty fun. That would have been pretty fun. I have tried to think of, like, something fun to do a bingo stream. I thought about doing InfoWars bingo, but InfoWars is pretty hard to watch, honestly. It's pretty unwatchable dog shit. Penny is sad now. Well, yeah, she's not getting any cheese, man.
To shut down the things you're saying rather than at what we're always offered, a desire to protect. So with what you said you know, about 9/11, even are you ever tempted when it comes to stuff like the phthalates in the water or a subject like 9/11 to remain within what is empirical and demonstrable, or is that sort of beyond, or is that just not the way you see stuff? Because Alex, you know, it's recently been discussed that the CIA have demonstrable connections with some of the hijackers. We now know that the law C-702 is being perpetuated even as we speak, using Hamas's attacks on Israel to legitimize ongoing surveillance measures that Snowden revealed. Do you ever feel like you could...
Words, and everything's connected, and just don't think about it too hard. It's fine. Everything's fine. Funnily enough, you can't search for Alex Jones on TikTok. Was trying to find the clip of the judge tearing into Alex that I saw. Yeah, that's true. TikTok just straight up won't allow anything Alex Jones. Just hands down, like, absolutely not. YouTube and Twitch are like, as long as you're shitting all over him, we're usually okay. So that's kind of like how we get away with it with this. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe do a card for each of the regular grifters I cover. Oh my God, the quartering bingo. Listen, the reason why we will never do a bingo stream of the quartering is it's one thing that bingo is really kind of an old people game, even though I love it. I love it. I like bingo, but it is kind of an old people game. Just having to sit and watch more than about 7 minutes of the quartering is going to put you to sleep and make you feel like an old person. So, you know, it's one thing to play old people games. It's another if you tune into a stream of mine and what we're watching actually makes you feel like geriatric. I don't want to do that to anybody. I'm sorry. No. It's, yeah. The quartering's content is like digital Ambien.
Could, curtail and measure the way that you communicate, that it would be possible that more people would be brought along if you were able to say, look, here's what I can prove, this is what I sense, this is what I intuit. The mystical component of human beings has been shut down for a long time. We're demystifying humanity in our rationalist world at the expense of the ability to emotionally communicate or to transcend or to look for new solutions. And believe me, I agree with you that we're at an apocalyptic, precipitous moment now, I think more than ever. And the reason I've always remained...
The same thing Jesus, look at his face. Look at Russell's face. Both these men love the sound of their own voice. It's pretty incredible. I mean, I do too. I love the sound of my voice. But it has always been the impending apocalypse forever. Like forever. Always. You can find old newspapers from the 19th century where they're talking about, like, you know, this person inspired to believe that this is near the end of times. It's pretty wild. It's pretty bananas. Just saying. Is the Quartering still being sponsored by the neo-Nazi book publisher? I don't know. He hasn't talked about it, but I haven't seen him do it since then. I don't know. Maybe. But he did do it. And, yep. He cashed that check.
Open to you in spite of a dominant legacy media plainly trying to attack and discredit you. And the sort of miraculous moment where...
This a hate stream? Lol, this channel blows later. Bye. Fuck off. Oh, the same guy said Alex Jones's truth. Bonkers for facts. Buddy.
Do you watch Cult of Dusty?
Do I watch Cult of Dusty? Every now and then if I get a chance to tune in, sure. Me and Dusty used to absolutely hate each other. But that was years ago. Like, Jeff from 6 years ago hated Dusty from 6 years ago. And I think both me and Dusty are wildly different people now. And so we've had some conversations just over DMs and stuff. So we get along fine now. And every now and then I get a chance to tune into his show. It's pretty good.
When Trump ascended into office, where you were, given that incredible access and fated, and indeed that you are a sort of an immature of the Joe Rogan model, and it's nice of you to say, like, that I'm somewhat a figure that exists on those countercultural margins, and I can say for sure now that what happens when you occupy those spaces is you will be attacked at some point. They will find a way to attack you and shut you down and make it look as credible as possible. They'll find where you're weak. And to hear you speak about your own encounters with that, I feel a great deal of sympathy for you, even though, no one could have missed the way that the legacy media covered the story you touched on. So I guess what this question actually is, Alex, is do you feel that you, in a sense, arm your detractors by your willingness to move from I have prophetic dreams, I had access to this white paper, I knew that these chemicals would have this effect on gender identity? Do you see that you're pulling in a great deal of information, mystical, conjecture, prophetic?
I don't understand how anybody unironically enjoys Russell Brand. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't. Like, I understand. I get. Yeah, they're talking at each other. Absolutely. I get why people buy into the conspiratorial mindset. I understand it. I do. I don't, but I understand why people do. I've taken great care to understand and learn why people do fall into that. I don't understand how they can stand listening to Brand when you can get the exact same stuff from literally any other channel that says the exact same things he's saying and is not an obnoxious piece of shit. Like, I do not understand how in the world anybody can watch this and enjoy it. This is like auditory torture for me. I don't know, man.
As well as data, or is that something you're deliberately doing in spite of the fact that it obviously enables people to attack you?
Let's unpack this. As you mentioned, the CIA, MI6, OSS before that, Hitler and his Gestapo, the Russian czars, they were all obsessed with mysticism. They were all obsessed with the occult. And they put...
Oh, by the way, Spawn Killer, that was a $2 super chat, so $3 more and we'll give the dog some cheese.
Massive amounts of money into scientists trying to quantify what was causing it, what was doing it, because it's a real phenomenon. There's also a lot of charlatans around it, but it's simply things, as David Icke says, not in the light spectrum. Now with the quantum mechanics and with all of the observations they've done, where if you observe a neutron, it won't jump, through a solid block of lead, but if you don't observe it, it will. That there are...
No way, dude. Holy shit. If you don't understand the double slit experiment, why would you even bring it up? That is not what happened. That is not what that is not what observable quantum mechanics even is. That makes absolutely no sense at all. I'm trying to like figure out if he's trying to describe the double slit experiment, if he's trying to get into like Heisenbergian principles of what the fuck. Why just don't just say things. If you don't know what they mean, don't just say them. Yeah, the observer effect is not that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Double slit experiment. I have that anime. Ooh. Damn. Technically, it's called hentai and it's art. Okay?
A lot of laws to the universe. And so the CIA has spent hundreds of billions of dollars conservatively over the last 70 years or so, since they were founded in 1947.
Woo!
Yummy.
Okay, this eternally bugs me.
Mm-hmm.
Supernatural. If it can be observed and quantified with natural methods, it's not supernatural, it's just natural. Looking at you, Jordan Peterson.
Good. Good. Very good. Okay. Okay, yeah, no, I like that, Cashel Gladio. That's $3 towards the $5 needed for a Puppo cheese treat.
With mind wars and with psychic soldiers and with all of that. And what they found was, and the Russians found this too, it's very real, but they can't control it. And so they'd rather chemicalize and dumb down and poison the public to lower consciousness so that they don't have to deal with that wild card. And so they know it's extremely real.
Yummy.
And at the end of the day, when I analyze stuff, then I just use, you call it the conscious with the subconscious and the unconscious, to just go with what is my gut level then of where this.
No cheese dog.
No cheese dog? Too bad. Dog get cheese. Dog get cheese. We'll listen to Alex while we feed the puppy.
This is going. And I'm actually clear with the listeners and the viewers that this is fact, this is going on, this is real, and I'll show the documents. I'll show you one here in a moment. And then I say, now, this is what politically I think is probably going to happen. And then here's my gut. And I don't even spend a lot of my time on the gut and all of that. What they do is when you're on air 3, 4, 5 hours a day, I'll be on the air today 7 hours doing my show, your show, other shows. They can just cherry pick things. And they can also take things out of context. Like when I said, I'm going to eat my neighbors when civilization collapses because they're cutting the food and energy supply off.
Yeah, see, that was kind of lame, though. Penny says thank you, by the way. Why eat your neighbors when they cut off the food supply? There are plenty of rich people we could eat first, right? You know? Like, that'd be good.
I said this is a modest proposal. Jonathan Swift, the famous essayist, that they wouldn't feed the Irish during the famine. So he said, well, why don't we just have the Irish sell their babies to the meat markets? I said, this is a analogy or a warning of, does the left or people going along with the collapse of civilization and this post-industrial world that they admit they're building or setting up right now, this great reset, that it'll be like Viggo Mortensen's The Road, or it will be, something very close to that, and that those of us that know how to.
Okay. Viggo Mortensen starred in The Road. Like, I don't think he wrote or directed or produced it, my guy. But look, okay. It's one of those really weird, interesting things where, like the left is trying to turn us into an apocalyptic hellhole wasteland, blah, 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 blah. And like, I'm sorry, but there are collapses happening within society all the time. Structural collapses, not like structural isn't structural, although that's happening too. Bridges, bridges are falling apart. But there are structural collapses largely because we don't take care of the institutions that our civilization is built upon, specifically in the United States. And it is bad. But it's being done and has been done for the past 40 years by a very specific subset of people that are overwhelmingly supported by people like Alex Jones. It just so happens that the other people who should be opposing that sort of thing are pretty much leaning towards that direction too. None of it has anything to do with the left or the globalists. Like, no. It's a failure of like unchecked, rampant capitalism. You know, where there's no checks and balances on it. There's no money being put into like actual public works. You know, it's bananas. It's so crazy, and like he's part of the problem. You know, it's weird.
Survive will literally have to end up eating your ass.
Yeah. The bridge is collapsing because nobody is watching them. I don't know. We should ask Alex about the quantum bridge question. You know, it's interesting. Yeah.
Well, they just said Jones has total meltdown, goes completely crazy, and says that he's going to eat his neighbors. Now, I knew when I did it, they were going to cut the front off and then deceptively put it out. So sometimes I calculate, particularly as I've been on the air almost 30 years, I do that more and more. That was completely calculated.
Jupiter Senpai asks, we have to eat ass to survive? Look, I don't think we're there yet, but I highly recommend practicing now. Because you never know when you might need to. So, by all means, practice as much as you possibly can. Eat the ass. You know, it can't hurt, right? Can't hurt.
I didn't tell the lie. I knew they were going to take what I did and put it out shockingly, and I was being massively censored. So I had to have a way to get people back to the show to actually hear me talk about, hey, they're cutting fertilizer production, they're cutting natural gas and fuel, they're cutting water supplies off around the world. Blocking groups that want to put water supplies into Africa, wells and things like we're now seeing. They're now going after the guy that drilled 100 wells when the UN hasn't done that in 10 years, has gotten millions of dollars because they don't want people actually being helped. So in the past, I really didn't think about how I was coming off. I was just, a wild man. And as you get older, we all know that, you tend to settle down.
No, he has not settled down at all. He has not settled down even remotely. And the thing, too, this is nothing about what Alex Jones and Russell Brand, because Russell Brand does it too. It's all fear mongering. It's all panic porn. It's paranoia pornography, right? And it's just a constant regurgitation of the same thing that's been going on for a long time. But look, they are massive pieces of shit for doing it. They really are. They're awful, awful, awful bad human beings for doing it. But they still pale in comparison to the true kings of this earth when it comes to selling apocalypses and just never quite actually producing the apocalypse, and that's the church. Okay, let's be honest about that one. And there's a lot of different ones, and they all got a different date. You know, like how long, Alex? How long? How many years now have you been telling us like the collapse is imminent and it has yet to happen? Because everybody's expecting it's going to be this big, exciting fucking thing, and so far, it's just a very, very slow process that's really, really boring and really depressing. Like, it's nowhere near as entertaining as you're making it seem like it's going to be. I'm sorry.
And so I'm a lot more subdued than I used to be and a lot more calculated because back then I didn't realize the effect or how big I was. I mean, I've been on air 29 years. I've had a huge show for like 23, 25 years. I mean, I've been reaching millions of people a day for 25 years. And so the cultural effect's been massive. And I didn't realize the last 6, 7, 8 years how big an effect it was. So like Spider-Man says, or his uncle says, with great power comes great responsibility. But no, nothing was calculated except I knew that if I was reading globalist documents before I even got on air, when I was in college and high school before that. And I was reading stuff they wrote in the 50s and 60s that I saw that had become reality by the 80s. And I saw things they wrote in the 80s that was coming true in the 90s. So it was accelerating. It was happening quicker. And so when I was reading all these UN documents and books and things about let's put fluoride in the water to reduce fertility and lower IQ, that'll make them more manageable.
If only that worked.
Major publications, major books that top White House science czars wrote decades ago. So that's where we are. So I knew that, well, if they've gotten all this done, and if what they said they would do decades ago, they got done, well, now they say they're going to start cutting off the resources and by 2020, launch Agenda 2030. When I saw they got everything done that they talked about at the Rio de Janeiro Accords.
It's so weird because, like, okay, Here's a really good example of how this is horseshit. Oh, yeah, and also, this is great. It's from Simon Roper. My estrogen levels feel threatened. Tilly, fry me up another gay frog omelet again for me, quick. Yeah. That's why people down south with the bad teeth that don't drink water and use fluoride in their toothpaste are high IQ. I don't think those things are even remotely related. I really don't. It's fascinating. But okay, so he's talking about like the Agenda 30, blah blah blah, because Agenda 20, whatever it was that he was talking about before, obviously didn't happen. And the thing is, there is actually a conspiracy right now, and it's not a hidden conspiracy, really. It's public, but then if you question certain people about it, they're like, oh no, that's not in there. Even though you can literally read it. You can literally read that that's what they want to do. It's a real, true conspiracy, and I'm not fucking around. This is real. This is absolutely real. It is a conspiracy with the explicit intent.
Alex Jones is Spider-Man?
Why not? Why not? Sure. I want to see him squeeze into the suit. That'd be great. This conspiracy is explicitly to erode the democracy of the United States. Like, I'm not fucking around. Like, legitimately, this agenda, and it's totally real, wants to erode the democracy of the United States. It wants to slash the federal government. It wants to remove basically anything about public school. It wants to remove a ton of freedom of speech, like access to certain books. I mean, this is some crazy fucking shit. And it's called Project or Agenda 2025. Like, it's not a conspiracy. It's fucking real. You can go read about it right now. The people who wrote it published it. Like, it's fucking real, dude. It's real shit. It's fucking banana. Oh, man. Oh, it's so nuts. It's so nuts. But the thing is, he's not going to fucking talk about it. Because that's his guys. The real conspiracy is his guys. The guys he likes. Same with Brand. That's why they don't talk about it. That's why they got to fill your head with a bunch of bullshit. It's so crazy. When are you going to talk about Project 2025, Alex? You going to talk about it? No? I wonder why. Because you're a shill fucking grifter, you piece of shit.
In 1992 for Agenda 21, that they had almost all that done. I went, whoa. They say by 2030, they want a collapse in industrial society. And then by 2045, a 90% reduction in human population. So I'm watching the trajectory of what they've said and what they've done and what their plan is. And I've seen them carry it out. They're a little bit behind. They're now having to rush it, but they're pretty much still on track. And so the train is still going to the same destination. It's just 5-10 minutes late. And so I want to derail.
See, any day now, they're going to try and do this conspiracy that I can't prove. Meanwhile, like Blackfire Dragon, hey, what's up, buddy? They are quite literally hiring right now for Project 2025. They're getting people on a list. Like, they're openly, brazenly doing this. It's real. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. You can absolutely work on how propaganda works on YouTube. I mean, yeah, yeah. But no, it is an absolutely real thing. It's so crazy. It is so crazy. It's so wild, man. Man. And now all I can do is, while we're listening to this, all I can think of is how that shit is like literally happening right now. And this dude is trying to sell all this trash to a bunch of people who are going to fucking believe it and not pay any attention to what's actually happening. It's crazy.
All this thing, I want to try to launch a great awakening to counter their great reset. That is the war for the world, because this is Hitler 10.0 is what we're facing. Where they
Super Hitler. We are facing Super Hitler. If we are not careful, we're going to have a Super Hitler on our hands.
Industrialize, break up families, drug and dumb down, weaponize the culture, atomize society, isolate people, and then create a eugenics death cult, suicide, euthanasia cult. I mean, this is basically THX 1138 meets Soylent Green meets 1984. We've all seen those Venn diagrams where it has all the dystopic books, Fahrenheit and Brave New World and 1984.
Yeah, you can. The books are a thing. Yeah, we know that books are a thing. You know, it would be crazy. It would be crazy if there was like a belief system. If there was a belief system that was pushed by political propagandists, grifters really, that routinely spout a bunch of misinformation, known and provably false misinformation, with the purpose of trying to push a political agenda and throw shade and discredit established biomedical understanding, hundreds of years of medicine, and in the process, this wild fucking cult, this death cult, death orgy, also was willing to sacrifice, I don't know, maybe 1,182,259 fucking people for the purpose of their politics. Wouldn't it be fucking weird if that existed? Wouldn't it be weird? Wouldn't it be weird if there wasn't an open and brazen, provable death cult that actually exists right now? Wouldn't that be strange? Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be crazy, man. That'd be so fucking weird.
And V for Vendetta, and then at the middle of it, it says, you are here. And so that is literally what the globalists are doing. In fact, I would call them the transhumanist dystopians, because they want to build a dystopia for us so bad and make us hate ourselves and make us think we're killing the earth.
We are living in a dystopia right now. I hate to break this to everybody, but if you're like, we're headed for a dystopia. Nah, we're there. We're fucking there, man. We're there.
That we commit internal suicide and cut off our life force and invert our life force to be successful and strong and stewards of the earth and build a beautiful planet and go off planet and just do incredible things. We're in a larval form right now. The eye has not seen, the ear has not heard what we're going to do, what we're going to be part of. And the globalists know the potential of humanity. They want to steal that potential. But if things stay laissez-faire and open, and there's a free market of ideas, humanity is going to transcend to the next level. And there'll be a challenge there. We're going to transcend, again, all the way to the 12th dimension until we merge with the Godhead, but we've got to be prepared and put through those levels before we literally enter nirvana.
What the fuck is he talking about? He does have very tiny, tiny hands. He does. Yeah. Not like my big man hands. Big man hands. We're in the boring dystopia. Look, we will never be lucky enough to have an exciting dystopia. Everything will just continue to rot. That's just how things work. Yeah, look, listen. It's all about merging with the Godhead, right? It's all about merging with the Godhead. Did he get into shrooms again? Look, I guarantee you, I have taken way more mushrooms than Alex Jones, and I can kind of grasp what he's saying, but this is just like practiced babble. That's really what it is. It's just practice babble.
And talk about dreams. I have had dreams, not the future dreams, but dreams with the Watchers, the angels, and they take me around and show me the universe, show me destroyed cultures, show me just fantastical things no one's ever seen in a movie, ever read in a book. But they say you can't show people this, you can't talk about this, you can't give the specifics of this, and it's unimaginably awesome and incredible, and just energy fields, energy planets, just anything you can imagine. And then they go, and don't worry about death, you are eternal. Worry about where your energy resonates. Have a taste of this. And it is total completion, beyond ecstasy, absolute no time. You're like, I never want to leave here. This is so satisfying. And then God says, yes, and now you will oversee with me all the lower levels that are growing up towards us in our garden, and you will be able to see the endless beauty and competition and freedom. But the one thing you may say is a sin, God says, and it's not. God says, I've done this, but the one thing I feel a little guilty about, this is God's only guilt, this omnipresent, all-powerful thing, is that I want to experience the universe through other sentient beings that have the seed of the universe in them, as Gandhi talked about. You are the potential little g God, and I want to not be alone, and I want to experience free will. But because we give people free will and other creatures free will, then they have a potential to be destructive and try to build their own universes and break away from us, and it basically never works. Look at these billions of other failures.
You know what's wild? Like, so doing the Wingnut Roundup, we watch a lot of like really wacky, bizarro people, and they're like, guys, I got to tell you something. I was having this dream, and this dragon, the dragon come, he tried to take my soul, and then I hit him. I hit him with the spatula, but the spatula was actually the scepter of eternity. And I was like, no, I don't think so, dragon. Not today. And like it doesn't sound any different than this. It doesn't sound a fucking thing different than this. And honestly, I think that they should replace Alex Jones with Millionaire Makel. I think it'd be great. He'd be more entertaining. And he never emotionally tortured grieving parents of dead children for years. He is an anti-vaxxer, unfortunately. So that's pretty bad. But I mean, you know, you can't get the perfect wingnut that you want. Also, $5. But wait, oh, yeah, there she is. $5 and that puppy gets cheese. Just putting that out there one more time.
That I thought they might make something better. They never did.
Hey, there's $1 towards it.
Yummy.
Oh please, Alex. The indescribable shut you're describing is old hat for anyone who's played a basic-ass JRPG. Hashtag attack and dethrone God.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Attack and dethrone God. Jeff doing the impression kind of sounds like Yoda's fever dreams. That's kind of how Millionaire Makel sounds. He's very charming.
And then God says, the only thing I don't know is where I came from. I am just here.
Mm-hmm.
And so help me discover where we came from.
I'm just living my life.
And also understand we've created this multi-layer system so that even though creatures fail and fall into lower dimensions and fall in these other realms, they actually do, in endless infinities, have a chance to basically percolate back up and be given redemption.
Hey, it's an MLW, multi-level wingnuttery. That's fantastic. That's awesome. You see, our wingnuttery triangle, right, of belief is that each of us believes the same bullshit as above, but then we add our bullshit and sell our bullshit to at least 5 friends. And those 5 friends take your bullshit and add their bullshit and sell that to 5 of their friends. See? That's how that works. That's how that works. It's great. It's foolproof, man. It's foolproof. It's kind of a big triangle.
And I'll be attacked by classical Christians for that, but that's what I've been shown by God. And I don't want to go back down and come back up. I want to go up, and I want to stay up, and I want to go all the way to the top. I want to merge with God at the 12th dimension. But I've got to be sanctified, purified, and ready for that. And the 3rd dimension is the main launch base to all the other levels.
We can't make this great, fantastic.
Hey, God. I need a breather for one quick second.
Death orgy.
Yeah. Need a quick breather on that because now I have to listen to Russell Brand. Let's stretch for a second. Let's stretch. Okay, not bad. All right, feeling good. I think I might be ready for a
death orgy.
Nah, too bad. No. All we get is we get Russell.
Controversial, crazy content without our partners. That's why we've once again.
No.
Beta.
No. Fuck you.
Yummy.
Ooh, Loopy Fox with the 1,000 biddies. Thank you very much. You know what? You know what that means? Oh, did her eyes just perk open? Right behind me? She's like, what? Good cheddar cheese. Yum. Let's see here. Oh no. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. All right, good. Yummy cheese. All right, time for some puppy cheese. This is all the cheese that she gets, though. One last slice. That'll be 2 slices for the day. So, yeah. Here she goes. She gets a quarter. Because she's such a good girl. She's such a good girl. And the thing is, too, the poor dog is suffering through period cramps right now, you know? No, she's not being nonchalant. Her tummy hurts. She's a lady now. She's a lady dog, and she is having her menstrual cramps. That's what she's dealing with. Yeah, I know, honey. I know. I'm sorry. I know. It's the curse. Oh, do you want some cheese? Good dog. Good girl. I know. You're such a good girl. Good dog. That's a good baby. All right. Gonna get doggo farts? That's okay. That's okay. Waiting patiently on the sleeping chair. That's right. On the couch. When is Russell Barron going to jail? He's rich, so probably never. You know? It's just how it is. And the thing is, the literal child that he paid for a taxi to pick her up from her high school to bring her over to his house so he could fuck her mouth, technically was not illegal because it was within the age of consent. It was just gross. Just really, really fucking gross. Anyway, fuck your sponsorship.
It's very profound and beautiful to listen to you. I'm trying to track my numerous questions, even ones I've already asked. And as I listen to you, I see that what you intuitively, organically, and indeed after 30 years of broadcasting professionally do is you're able to trust yourself and communicate on a good many levels. When you describe that Luciferianism, the idea that a small portion of the energy of the divine can be reappropriated and purposed towards lower consciousness, a low frequency agenda, I'm very sympathetic to this. Also, when
People who talk like this are the most insufferable motherfuckers on the planet. It's so arrogant, right? Like you hear something and you disagree with it, and it's not just like, well, I disagree with that. I don't agree with that at all. This is Luciferian, low energy, low vibration, not an enlightened position to take. Now, the thing is, a statement like that is not just saying, well, the evidence that I have come to has led me to a different understanding, and I think that you're wrong, and I think that I'm right. No, it is deeper than that. It is, I am morally and spiritually fucking superior to you, and you are operating at subhuman fucking values, or at least I am suprahuman values, and you are plebeian baseline. It is the height of fucking arrogancy to start claiming that you operate on some metaphysical higher level than other people. It makes me want to physically assault people when I hear them say shit like this. And I'm not a violent guy, but holy fucking shit. It's like brick smashed FaceTime, motherfucker. I cannot handle it. It makes me so furious. It's crazy. It's so shitty. You know what I mean?
we are presented as we seem to be currently with a kind of omni-crisis, with a kind of creeping sense of foreboding, which on our show, we continually talk about a subtle agenda, which is demonstrable through looking at financial activity and military activity and the activity of unelected three-letter acronym organizations to create centralized authority and, as you have said so eloquently, to dumb down the consciousness of ordinary people. When I look at the scale and the scope of the problem,
I would have said hammer smash face because but no, I don't want Russell Brand's blood on my hammers. I like all my hammers. Sorry.
that we are facing, it seems plain that what's going to be required
That sounded
is
dark.
a kind of spiritual energization.
I officially
But
do
whether
not
you
plan to
consider
physically
yourself
assault
to be
anyone.
a person on the radical left, say, should we use the terms of our time, believing in compassion, progressivism, or if you're a cultural conservative person, believing in individual freedom and traditional Christian or Islamic values or Judaic.
Is that what the current Christian conservative movement really believes? Individual freedom. Is that what they believe? I don't think so.
Values. It seems that in order to move beyond the level that we're at now, just in terms of the framing of our current set of crises, and in order to inspire change, and indeed to galvanize people, even if you look at it only in terms of what's demonstrably true, sets of interests that were observable during the pandemic period that benefited from being able to regulate a population, encourage, and in some cases mandate a population to take experimental medications, censor and shut down conversation and communication, including the delegitimization of demonstrably credible scientists. It's clear that what we need is a
That's just a bunch of anti-vaxxer talking points right there. Vaguely hidden, just anti-vax rhetoric. It's a hint, nod, wink, wink, that kind of shit to like all of his anti-vax audience, which is pretty much every anti-vaxxer now absolutely loves Russell Brand because he has even furthered the anti-vax brand and branched it out. They see him as extremely useful, so they fucking love him.
Population is a sort of almost a new resource. So when you describe layers of consciousness and what sound to me like shamanic experiences of different levels of reality, which are these kind of visions are in the Old Testament, they're in the Quran, they're in even the writings of Rudolf Steiner. These are kind of ideas, and in sort of Aztec cults and Mayan cults and Egyptian mythology.
It's an omnipresent archetype and vision, and you're absolutely right.
and I suppose where I'm getting to is
Alex is just like, I'm fucking sick of this. Let me say something. Jesus.
It's very difficult because if you discredit the idea of somehow conflating mysticism with anti-establishment politics, that it's something it's easy to condemn because it involves language that by its nature colourful and often beyond rationality. But beyond rationality is not the same as irrational. And what I think is really challenging in this space is to say, wow, on one level, this relates to the incarceration of Julian Assange and the exiling of Edward Snowden. It relates...
Oh my fucking God, who just... I can't stand this motherfucker. I cannot stand this motherfucker. No, I have to listen to it. I do, but I swear. Okay. This is what I'm gonna. This is what's gonna happen. All right. Eventually, he has to shut the fuck up. He has to, and then Alex will talk. But I swear to fuck, once Alex is done and this obnoxious piece of shit starts talking again, I'm done with the video. I'm done. We're already 38 minutes into it. There's only 30 minutes left on it. I'm hoping that Alex gets a chance to just talk, but I am seriously like getting uncomfortable and like wanting to I don't know, break something. And I like everything that I own, Like I don't see anything around here that I dislike and I want to break. But it's eliciting that kind of violent emotional reaction because of how fucking annoying he is. God damn.
To a forever war mentality. It relates to redundant democracies. It relates to true power being inaccessible to ordinary people. And as you said at the beginning of our conversation, the astonishing power of groups like BlackRock, Vanguard, etc. But also, I know that where you see this is through an occultist lens also, layers of reality, the limitations of the senses. You cited briefly, and I know a lot of people that loathe this kind of stuff when people talk about double slit and quantum physics in a mystical way. I know that angers people, but really what we're experiencing is our models of reality are breaking down. There are crises all over the world. Solutions are required that are beyond the paradigm that we live within, and we're prevented from having those kind of discussions. Go, Alex.
Well, I mean, that's what all science is based on, and it all goes back to the occult. All occult means is hidden, And so we're looking for the hidden. We're trying to actually illuminate people. And then you have the classic Illuminati that's claiming it's trying to illuminate, but is actually trying to block it. But you boiled down my...
Okay. The classic Illuminati was a fucking scheme by one dude to basically scam people so he could buy expensive books. Look it up. Like, it would... Because secret societies were all the rage back then. The Bavarian Illuminati, the OG Illuminati, was one fucking guy who convinced a bunch of people that they were all learning about secret society knowledge and like mysticism and shit. And then his second in command threw a fucking fit when he found out that the entire thing was a scam, so the dude could literally afford to keep up his book collection, his rare book collection. He was a book nerd. Like, that's literally what the Illuminati was. Like, it was a grift. A great grift, too, by the way. Pretty fantastic, actually. Classic Illuminati, followed by Illuminati Zero. And nah, that's good. Yeah. That's amazing. Classic Illuminati versus new Illuminati. Yeah.
My whole rant in 30 seconds earlier perfectly. The Luciferian energy says, I'm going to use all this divine and carve out my own thing and then basically create my own universe with my own followers, but then I've got to limit their free will. And whereas God says, you all get free will, but then God says, is it bad that I gave people free will? Because that actually then allowed a lot of evil to take place. And that's what the Satanists or Luciferian will always say. Your God allows all these bad things to happen.
Yeah, he's not a very effective, like, benefactor in that way. It's okay. The argument along that is that if you are trying to promote the Christian God as like a being of all good, then it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. It's a logical fallacy, which, I mean, you know, I really hate when people point them out, but it's true. It's true. It's a logical fallacy, but it's not anything more deep than that. Yeah, Penny is napping.
Well, that's what happens when you allow freedom. But then the universe would be a dead, empty thing, or I guess with just a bunch of plants growing on it, or you know, things that don't have higher consciousness, at least on the surface, if God did not give us this. And so the science we have today, if you
how emasculated do you have to be? Spiritually emasculated do you have to be to believe that everything that you achieve and accomplish is due to somebody else? Like, take back your power, King. Like, fuck that shit. Don't be a god cuck, right? Like, nah, man, this is me, this is mine. I did this shit. But then the problem is, then Alex Jones would have to take responsibility for literally anything in his life, and then probably have to pay that $1 billion to the family that he owes. And that's not really going to work out for his brand. His brand is blaming other things, and then if good things happen, it was God. Yeah.
Showed an ancient Greek or Egyptian, they would say we were gods, but we're not gods. We just have what people envisioned as godlike power. People envisioned flying ships. People envisioned, flamethrowers. People envisioned hydrogen bombs. People envisioned a lot because there was something in the space-time continuum that we knew was already real because it was a potentiality. Also, the universe, as we know, is a lot of things, but it's also...
So we are like unawakened Q continuum or some shit. You know, we can just conceive it because it's part of space-time, but we just don't have the power to do that yet. We have to use these rudimentary tools.
So a loop or a figure eight, and it's always coming back. So
the universe is a figure eight. No.
There's a psychic wavelength from the future bouncing back at us now.
No.
And that's why we have such a feeling of dread.
No.
Is because we've been on the wrong path. In fact, I wrote some notes before.
No. We have a feeling of dread because you're a paranoia pornographer. That's why, dipshit.
I came on. I had no idea you would go there. But the first thing I wanted to say is we are at the end of an age, and the system knows that, and they know currently the trajectory is humanity freeing itself. That's why they're trying to create an end of history now. They're trying to manifest all this Armageddon stuff to preempt what they think is coming so they can control it. And they're not controlling it. And they're never going to escape the things they've done. And of course, mainstream media says there is no God, you have no free will. But when we got the WikiLeaks of these thousands of top Democrats.
Wait, hang on. Wait a minute. I wish I had some like game show music right now. It's time to play. What do we guess Alex Jones is gonna say next? Okay. So he's basically trying to push that all Democrats are these atheist, satanic, Luciferian, blah 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 blah. But we have the WikiLeaks. You know, the mainstream media says that God's not real, but we have the WikiLeaks. What in the fuck is he gonna say next? I'm so curious. Please.
They're obsessed with Thelema and with Aleister Crowley and with the occult. And you look.
The Democrats? I'm pretty sure most Democrats are hardcore Christians, dude. Pretty much. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is an occult component to a lot of people who are in the elites and that sort of shit. But Thelema? Really? I mean, like, you couldn't be like, they're all adherents of Madame Blavatsky or other, equally dumb fuck, provably grifty pieces of shit.
Look at them. They're pathetic. And the videos of their rituals that have come out, they're just weak people trying to pretend they're God by being selfish. And you don't do that. You get closer to God by being selfless and by dialing into the universe and accepting it.
Yeah. Okay. You with this absolute
Beta
WikiLeaks proving Democrats are into Thelema. Jesus fucking Christ. You got your WikiLeaks? I got my WikiFeet. That's right, everybody. WikiFeetmen.com/Jeff Holiday. Rated 4.13 so far. You know what you need to do? You gotta pump those numbers. Do it for the Uggo Piggly Wigglies, my dirty little fussies. Ooh, look at that. Oh my God. Those are the feet of a whore. Anyway, back to this. Not for anything. I'm not profiting off that at all. I just think it's fucking hilarious that I have a WikiFeet page. It's great. It's cool.
And these people are cowards. They're greedy. They want to steal the future, and they're not going to get away with it. They're going to hurt a lot of people, and they're going to commit a lot of crimes. But in the end, their destruction will be their own because they will be cut off from God. And from what I've seen and read and studied and know, hell is not some description of burning fire. And it's being cut off from the real universe, the real multiverse. And you don't want to be cut off from that. And if you make the decision,
you get cut off for that, you're never going to meet Doctor Strange.
To go create your own system, and you decide not, and I get with the Luciferian, well, that's a slave master. And okay, well, the slave master gave you total freedom to go build your own thing. And then once you build it, you just built hell. And that really sums up everything.
Wow, Alex, I want to ask you a few basic kind of, like, this is, I know you can answer questions simultaneously. So.
Okay. Russell talks. Okay, and he finally I mean, Jesus Christ, that's 3 minutes he takes. Okay, this should be near the end. Let's see if we can get it here.
And the way that you have been attacked.
You know, God does things to me. I'll just say this. I'm not trying to brag. It's just you asked the question. I'll wake up at 3:35 in the morning or whenever it is, and God will say, the Spirit will say to me, you know I'm completely real. I want you to get up and walk into the kitchen. It is going to be 3:36 exactly. And this has happened to me hundreds of times, since I was a little kid. And I walk in and it's always the exact number. Now you can say, well, I've got an inner clock, whatever. We know that butterflies can fly from central Mexico all the way to central Canada and then lay their eggs and then fly all the way back. How does it know how to go to Mexico? Well, how does it know how to go 3,000 miles? It knows how to do it, or 2,800 miles. Seen documentaries on it. It has magnetic cones and rods in its little tiny brain that operate off the electromagnetic fields of the earth, but they also have ancestral
Wait till you hear about fish. It'll blow your fucking mind, man.
memory as well that's been passed on. And so their bodies are a third dimensional manifestation of that spirit energy. And so that energy is even in them. That's how the ducks, the geese know how to do it. That's how hummingbirds can fly from Georgia all the way to Guatemala, little bitty birds over the ocean, thousands of miles, and land in the same tree that they were born in, or the same tree that their parents were born in.
Okay. So fucking what? Butterfly goes in, butterfly goes out. You can't explain that. It's like magnets. Let's see. Brazilian radical. I invite Alex Jones to Brazil to see the actual reality of my nation. He said anti-Brazilian lies before, but failed to recompense the reality of heroism in my nation under Lula. Many heroes carry the banner of national action. Fuck Alex Jones, anti-Brazilian piece of shit. I don't know specifically any of the Brazilian stuff that he said necessarily, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the thing is, any little talking point that Alex Jones and Russell Brand can use to further whatever kind of agenda they're pushing, they don't actually give a shit. They don't care. Everything is fodder or ammunition. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. It's crazy. Your brain is rotting. I know. We're not gonna keep this up much longer. I'm feeling pretty good. I just want to hear him this last little bit that Alex goes into. Oh wow, he goes for a minute. Oh, goes for about 4 minutes. Well, and then we'll call it quits at that part. Just to let you know, in that time, if you want the puppy to get a piece of cheese, look at those eyes. Those eyes just popped open like, huh? Cheese? If you want the puppy to get a piece of cheese, it's $5. We're raising money for a bag of dog food for. I don't even get to touch it.
Okay, so that's the power of this. And all spiritualism is tuning into the fact that humans have massive amounts of cones and rods. The only other thing that has more of them is whales.
Let me tell you, my cones and rods are huge.
I mean, you know, a dolphin's brain's way bigger than a human's, and they're incredible. And so you have to understand that we have all this. We're a transceiver, and the priest class.
No, I said no more cheese after this last slice. There's still 3 pieces of that slice. See? Boop. Well, you can't really see because of the green screen, but yeah. Play!
Has tried to get in front of this relationship with the universe and God, and then they create these dogmas to control people instead of going directly to God. And so that's what I'm trying to get at here. And so, you know, obviously there are 7 deadly sins, but the Luciferian sin is pride. And you've been around the block, Russell, and I can tell that, and I can see when you were younger, I could see it in your eyes. When I was younger, I dialed into that Luciferian energy, the pride, the strength, the will, to get any woman I wanted, kick anybody's ass. If I just turned it on, it was like a ring of...
I promise, guys, I was super cool back then when I was a kid. Super cool. I was super great. I fucked all the women. I beat up all the dudes. I was like a walking 3-6 Mafia song. Fuck yeah. Well, probably not slinging cocaine, but, you know. Aside from that, yeah. Like, yo, we get it, Alex. You were a big deal. Okay, man.
Of Mordor. And I took that off when I was about 18. Only had it on for about 4, 5, 6 years. I wasn't a Satanist, but man, I attracted the Luciferians and all the rich people like, you know, Maz the Flame. And then I
should introduce me to all the Luciferians. I hear they party good.
I was able, basically God touched me and said, you really want to be evil? And I had a lot of really intense nightmares and just a feeling of being alone. And God said, you can have all this earthly power, but you're going to be alone. Do you feel the Holy Spirit being removed? We are unplugging from you. We're leaving you. You're becoming a Satanist. And I went, no. And then God said, okay, I want you to start doing this, and that. And I was like doing it. And it was like, don't have sex for like a year, because I was, you know, not as famous as you, but I was, you know, chicks almost every day. And literally then I was like, okay, go get on the air, you know, fight to get on the air, talk about this, do this. And then I've been on there about 2-3 years, and I had this really incredible psychic event after I'd done like 2 hours on my Access TV show. And I was in this restaurant, it was closing down, nobody was in there. I finished eating, I wasn't on drugs, wasn't drinking. And it was just like the walls opened up, and it was this big energy. And it said, all right, I'm about to hit you with a major download in your mission.
It was going to drop a huge load on you, Alex, it was gonna drop a big fucking steaming hot load on you? Yeah! Come on me, Papa God.
It's called evolution, bitch.
By the way, if you have HBO or I guess it's called Max now or whatever, there's a documentary series. I'm going to talk about it again on the channel. Don't get me wrong, but and I'm going to touch on it because it's just fucking amazing. There's a new docu series. Only the first episode is out so far about Love Has Won. I am not fucking kidding you, and it is so good, but. And I'm putting a little bit of a content warning on this, okay? It is a great documentary, but right at the very fucking beginning of the series, if you guys remember about Mother God and Love Is One Cult, if you remember, after she died, they wrapped her body. Hey! Penny can has cheese? I don't know why that didn't read. That was weird. Yes, sir, Daniel. Penny will have cheese. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but they wrapped her body in a sleeping bag and Christmas tree lights and mummified her body laying in her bed and left her there and continued living in the house. And if you watch this docuseries, pretty much one of the first things you see is the police camera footage of them walking in, and you quite literally see Mother God dead in a sleeping bag, and it's fucked up. It is fucked up. It is very shocking. So yeah. It's bananas, man. It's really bananas. So, but it is, and yes, they show her mummy, and it is not pretty. But otherwise, it is a great series. So definitely worth it. You can see Alex here with his mouth agape, just very interested in what I was talking about. Right, Alex? That's right. Yeah? What were we talking about?
Death orgy.
That's right.
But this and that is going to happen, and you're going to go through a lot of pain to do it, but you're going to help trigger the Great Awakening. And I've talked about this 20 years ago, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And
Penny gets cheese.
And then now look.
Yeah, let's give the puppy some cheese. That's worth 2 slices of cheese, actually. Do we want to see if she'll do a trick for it? Penny. Penny puppy. Hi. Do you want to do a trick? Do you want to do a trick? Yeah? Oh, wait. Here, come down. Come down. Here, watch out. Here. There we go. Good girl. All right, back up. No, here, over here. Over here. I know, yes, hi. I know, baby. There. Come here. There you go. Good girl. Good dog. Nice. Only one last bit of cheese treat that she can have today. So that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Look, I'm credited, and it's not me, it's God, it's through the universe. I said 20 years ago on air when I was ready to talk about it, about 7 years after it happened, I talked about it in great length for like hours on the show.
Yeah.
How I was going to help through our audience trigger the Great Awakening that would then produce all these other incredible people who were asleep, who would be even more articulate than I was, and that was my mission. But then I had to be ready to be destroyed, probably killed, and I hate to prophesy that, but I had to be ready to be tortured, ready to be in prison, ready to be killed if I wanted this mission. And I said, I want the mission. And it was like, bam! And then the dream started, the discernment started, the knowledge started, and then I've had 2 or 3 other times where it's like you're brought in to be commissioned to another level of the military, and it's a spiritual event, and just like the devil psychically has you sign a contract, but God doesn't.
Has anybody else noticed that he doesn't say devil, he says devil? Every time. The devil. I don't know if he's going to say it again, but if so, like.
Does it through free will and says, okay, here's the next mission. Do you want it? I'm going to show you all the bad stuff. Are you sure you want this? This is your mission. Should you choose to accept it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want the next mission. And just in the last few months, I've had that happen again. And I know it's totally real. And so I'm just extremely blessed. And I'm just like one thing. I was flying in to do an interview with a very well-known talk show host that should air soon on a private plane they got us.
Yeah.
And it was bad weather, and it was violently flying around. And the pilots were freaked out, and they had to not land. They had to go back, maybe find another airport. And I was totally calm, and my wife was totally calm. And when we landed, she said, "What were you doing?" I said, "I was preparing if we died to ensure that my energy goes to God." I was like, my energy's going to God. I'm totally ready to die. I'm not suicidal, but I was just very zenned out. I'm like, I'm ready to die. Thank you. The mission's now over.
That's lame. Like, that's lame. Do you get how lame that is?
Beta.
I mean, that's super beta.
Beta.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you know what? I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die. You know, blah, blah, blah. I'm ready to die. You know, maybe. I get when people are, like, legitimately about to sacrifice themselves for some greater good. But I dispel the idea that people just die with grace. Dying sucks. It's bad. It's bad. The people who are lucky enough to die with grace are usually people that are really fucking old and they're tired of being alive, okay? Otherwise, I reject this fucking notion of the noble death. Death sucks. That's it. That's the end. And to be like, oh, you know, I feel like I'm just so totally into it, blah, 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 blah.
Beta.
Fuck you, you fucking weakling. Scratch, claw, fight. Do everything you fucking can to stay alive. Because after that, there's nothing left. You don't get to affect change in this world once you're gone. You're just going to be like, oh, whatever. I'll just peace out. Fuck you. Fuck you, Alex Jones. Stupid, noble, sacrificial bullshit. I don't buy it for a fucking minute.
I feel sorry for the pilots, but if I die, and I just focused, I'm going with you, I'm going with God, via con Dios. And of course, we didn't die. But the pilots were like totally freaked out when we landed. So that's what we're talking about.
I was calm as a Hindu.
Oh, man, that's pretty...
What is it? Is that line in fucking calm as a Hindu cow? That's right. From Fight Club. Yeah. Calm as a Hindu cow. Says the man who only wanted to poke God in his fever dream. I know, dude. Well, yeah, of course. Look, fuck it. Fuck it. Whatever. I don't even give a fuck. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. I can't. I just can't anymore. I think I have actually officially hit my fucking limit for sure. Here. Boom. Hi. I know we're about to get a notification here, so we'll prep the puppy's last little treat that she gets. Come here, baby. Come here. Hi. Oopa. Oopa. Come here. Hi. Everybody wants to see you. You're very popular. You're very popular. See? Everybody needs to see you. And how pretty you are. I know this cheese. You can smell it. Oh, it smells so good, doesn't it? It smells so good. I wish the camera was here. Wait. There we go. I'm going to show you how good and obedient you are. You have a cheese nose. Mm-hmm. Cheese nose puppy. Peony. All right, here. You can have it. There you go. Yes, good dog. Good dog. I know. That's all the cheese you get for today, though. I'm sorry. No more cheese for the puppy. Let's see. So what all is going on? For those who are not aware, I have been producing a series of 60-second long videos. I've got 5 of them out so far about how chiropractic is largely 99.999% a scam. I've been putting those out to this main YouTube channel, my TikTok, my Instagram, and my Facebook. So just kind of like cross-promotion sort of stuff. Because largely, and I'm very open about this, YouTube, ever since the pandemic, really doesn't put my videos into the algorithm. So not really much of a chance of growth on YouTube organically. So I'm starting to do like very quick, easy to share debunking stuff on other platforms. So if you want to support me on those, go find me, usually Jeff Holiday or Real Jeff Holiday, and share my shit. It'd be great. Is there passions tomorrow? There should be. There should be in case something weird happens. If you are a fan of soap operas, or just me, or gutter punks playing a drinking game while watching an old soap opera, you should join me tomorrow on twitch.tv/RealJeffHoliday, 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. And we're gonna watch some soap operas, some bad soap operas, and get drunk, because that's what we do. Simon Roper, thank you very much for the £2. 1 hour behind you all. Bucks for cheese. I think my stream alerts for some reason got turned off on this one. I'm not sure why. It's weird. And Mr. McDaunting resubscribed 35 months in a row. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. It's going to be hard for me to stream next week, largely due to changes in school scheduling and all that sort of stuff. But the last Sunday of the month will be the Wingnut Roundup, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you. I love you. And from my family to yours, take care of yourselves, and you have yourselves a fantastic fucking day, all right? Mwah. From me and Penny, bye-bye. Penny, you say bye-bye? Come here, baby. Say bye-bye. Yeah, bye. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.